Okay. Hey, this is Nessyp of Nessyp Entertainment. I have met this amazing, she's just amazing. And whether she realizes it or not, I call her an influencer. I am here with Miss Darina Glover, and Darina put a video up on Facebook regarding her situation, and it really, really touched my heart. So I am hoping that it also touches your heart, and whether you can and to lead you to help other people as well. So, Miss Darina, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here
Oh,
today.
so I am excited to be here with you. That's so cool. Okay, so Miss Darina, tell me the video that you did. Tell me a little bit about what made you do that.
Well, at first I wasn't going to, there are people who knew about my situation, but
Okay.
I wasn't going to really share outward. But I am a person that believes that when you hear God, you need to follow God's instructions. And I had been hearing this thing about seasons, and I started reading about how Christians go through different spiritual seasons.
Okay.
And there's a song that I love to hear. It's called "This Is Your Season."
Yes.
It's for for to be blessed. And so as I was sitting there, I was actually at work that day
Okay.
and was grading papers and listening to some gospel music. And the Lord told me, "Okay, you need to write this down." And so when He speaks to me like that, I'm like, "Wait a minute, Lord, let me find some paper. Let me, start writing fast." But there was no plan really of when I was going to share outward. It was
Hmm.
just the Lord telling me this is the time.
Okay.
And so I just decided to started scribbling some stuff down on paper that He had given me about the different how Christians go through different seasons. And I was like, Lord, I have been through every one of these. And so that's
Wow.
basically how I decided to I videotaped it and then just decided to post it.
Okay. So we are going to break it down and tell everyone what your situation is right now.
Okay, so
Because
I
this
have
is a season. This is just
It
a
is a
season.
season.
That's
Yeah,
right.
just a season. On December 21st, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer.
Okay.
And we found out also, and I'm just sharing this because a lot of people didn't know, but the cancer had metastasized to my liver.
Okay.
So there are 2 spots on my liver, and then there is a mass about the size of a golf ball that's the tumor where the cancer is in my colon.
Okay.
So my world turned upside down on December 21st, because I had no, what I thought were the signs were what I
Hmm.
thought were just, regular indigestion or irritable bowel syndrome
Hmm.
was actually going through the stages of the cancer and didn't know it. I never had blood in my stool.
Okay.
The bowel movements changed, of course, and then the
Okay.
indigestion got worse. And there wasn't any rhyme or reason of what I ate that
Hmm.
made me feel bloated, fatigued, and just in severe pain because I couldn't digest the food.
Wow.
And so at that point, the journey started in March of 2023.
Okay.
And so from March of 2023 to December, I went through different medications, pain. Then I finally got in to see a gastroenterologist and another medication and more pain, and to the point where I was doubled over in October, and rocked myself to sleep. My daughter at the time was here and had to see me go through all of that.
Yeah.
And she was like my caregiver for a little while before she left to go off to school. And well, she was actually in school but home for the weekend. And so I
Okay.
finally got in, and when we got the appointment in December, we had the colonoscopy. And I was like many other people, I'm 54, I'll be 55 this year,
Hmm.
but I waited. Like most people, I'll put it off and put it off because you're supposed to get your first colonoscopy at 50,
Right.
5 years behind. And I put it off, put it off. not so much that I was scared, but because I was taking care of everybody else.
Okay.
You know, taking care of my mom, my dad, who's also a cancer survivor. Um, just, making sure that, we were taking care of my daughter and what
Hmm.
she needed in school. I'm a teacher, and so, we just overwork ourselves.
Right.
So I just kept putting it off. And when I finally had the colonoscopy, that's when they found
That's
the
when
cancer.
they find it. In
Mhm.
your video, and we're going to come back to some of the things that you just told us, but in your video, you mentioned about taking care of ourselves, how we just ignore things. And sometimes it's not that we ignore it, it's just that we don't want to admit that our bodies are changing, we're changing. So what
Mhm.
made you not want to go? And I mean, you went to the doctor because of different things, but you didn't think that maybe to get the colonoscopy ahead of time?
No, I didn't. I was like, okay, I know I'm supposed to have it done at 50,
Mm-hmm.
and 50 came and went. And we also are taking care of our mom, who has been sick as well. So
Okay.
my two sisters and I, our lives were really focused on our two parents who live in separate homes on separate ends of Hillsborough County.
Okay.
And we're trying to be caretakers of our parents.
Okay.
And because I am a divorcee, so the most of the time my daughter was with me when she was in high school. So
Mm-hmm.
being a parent who's on her own, I don't call myself a single parent, but I call myself the primary parent of raising my daughter.
Okay.
Um, so life was just busy, and I just didn't take care of myself, which is, now I'm learning that we can't do that.
Yeah.
And running, my daughter is a dancer, so running to dance practice, running to see about mom, running to see about dad. What's the easiest thing to do about food? I'm running through a drive-through, or
Okay.
picking something up and ordering something really quickly, eating late at night. So all of those habits I found out are bad triggers for the colon cancer.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's how, yeah.
We have a tendency to be so busy. Like you said, it was, you're raising your child, you're working, you're being caregivers to your parents. That in itself is stressful.
You're right.
So how did you deal with that stress? I mean, before you found out, how were you dealing with that stress?
I have me time at night,
Okay.
and my time with God. I don't mind driving, because
Mhm.
to me, in that time when I'm driving, that's my time with God, and I listen for God. But I sit on my patio a lot at night, and that's my distressor.
Okay.
To just be able to calm down, get the noise out of my head, and really listen and hear from God. Um, so that was my time to just sit. That's my time to sit and kind of realign myself, if you will, because I know I got to go on for the next day. I know I gotta go another day. So that would be the me time for me. I love the beach. I love water.
Okay.
So a lot of the times I would go over to an area in St. Pete or one in South Tampa and just sit by the water, because that water is just peace to me.
Okay.
So those are the ways that I handled the stress.
Wow.
Mhm.
So now with everything going on in your cancer, has that changed for you? I mean, are there different avenues that you find your peace in now? Or is it kind of basically the same?
Those different avenues, because of the cancer itself, is limited. It limits me a lot from going a lot because I'm so tired from the chemo.
Hmm.
So I'm not afraid anymore to say no,
Okay.
or I'm not afraid anymore to make appointments for me.
Okay.
Somebody say, "Oh, can you do something?" Oh, I have an appointment. I'm not going to be able to make it. Well, the appointment is me.
Okay.
And so when I have the chemo on Thursdays, on that Friday and Saturday, I I'm just wiped out. So it's my time to just relax. It's my time to, shut the world out, and not allow that negativity to creep in, like, oh,
Mhm,
woe is me kind of thing,
mhm.
And so I give myself grace and I give myself time to relax. So
Wow. That, um, a lot of us don't recognize that and don't, and me being one of them, because I'm gonna only speak for me. I'm not speaking for everybody else, but being a cancer survivor as well, I do understand about those voices in your head and that negativity, and you want to, um, you start feeling sorry for yourself instead
hmm
of giving that over to God and
right.
saying, for me, I can always say, God, I know you got a plan for me. And like you were saying earlier about the seasons, well, this is my season. So show me how
Right.
to deal with my season.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
I had to learn how to allow people to bless me and
okay.
accept those blessings. Because I'm such a giver, I'm always the one who's okay, what do you need? What can I do? I was always
Mhm.
that person, people would call and say, Darina, can you do? Darina, did you do? Darina, will you do? Darina, have you done? And so when my sisterhood, when I began to reach out to my sisterhood, I had to allow them to take care of me. So
Okay.
now when I go to my appointments, my friend is there with me with every single appointment from day one, and
Okay.
I need that. I need that. I need her, that calming, that rational person at that time, because this is an emotional journey,
Yes.
and we don't know when the emotions are going to come. I know for me, they tell me I'm a crybaby. I don't know when the emotion is going to come, so I need that rational friend, that level-headed friend of mine who has the huge heart and comes every day. And then I also found that my distressor in going
Mhm,
through this, I need to cry. And I need somebody to sit with me and not try to tell me, don't cry, or not try to give me advice at
mhm.
that moment, but just be there to sit with me. And I have a friend like that. She'll come over and I literally lay my head in her lap and I cry. And there's nothing wrong with it. But because I have to be able to get all of that out so that I can now say, okay, whoo, I'm ready now, God, to move forward, because we are all living in a carnal spirit. And so
Yeah.
we have to take care of you. We have to recognize that our carnal selves go through those emotions. And it doesn't say that our faith is any less. It just says that we're human.
Yeah.
And that one scripture that's real short, those two words, Jesus wept, he
Mhm.
cried as well. And
Yeah.
so, for us, our tear ducts are there for a reason. And so, after the spring, spring brings the rain and then May brings the flowers. So after our tears come, that's when we get to see the sunshine.
Wow.
So,
See, I told
yeah.
you you were an influencer. You just didn't realize, you just didn't recognize that at
Oh my
first.
goodness.
How hard was it for you to share that information with your family and loved ones and friends?
It was really hard. Again, the first time I found out, my girlfriend was with me,
Okay.
and she's been with me since the beginning. So I needed her, and my older sister, I call her my sissy. My older sister has also been there every step of the way. So at first I was like, okay, what do I do? I didn't want to tell my kids. I didn't want my kids worrying about me.
Okay.
Um, but then, I got to a point where I needed to tell them. And so both of my children mentioned, as they wanted me to be upfront and honest. They're both adults,
Okay.
and I cannot treat them like they're, you know,
Kid.
kids.
Yeah.
So I began to look at who needed to know
Okay.
first,
Okay.
who needed to know. And right now, my mom still doesn't know because of her condition, and we didn't want to stress her anymore. So I had to make methodical decisions on, okay, now I'm ready to tell this group of people. Now I'm ready to tell this group of people.
Okay.
So that I could, you know, develop I guess, a plan of action for myself. So once I shared with my inner circle, those ladies went to work, and that's what I talked about in the video when I said, I'm in my blessing season. I'm in my harvest season with
Okay.
my friends, because you don't really know how much effect that you have on a person until you're in a situation where you need those people.
Yes.
And the outpouring of love and support, not just from my inner circle, just from people that I never expected,
Well,
it was just amazing. And I'll share this with you. I remember at the beginning where I'm gonna try not to cry.
it's okay.
They the
It's okay.
the original decision was to have the surgery to remove the mass, and that was before we found out the stage.
Okay.
And again, I'm a teacher and I'm a parent who, her father is very, very supportive in her life, but it's just been me and my daughter for a while.
Okay.
So I'm starting to I began to get bills, and I got a hospital bill before I actually went into the hospital. I was like, how am I going to pay this?
Wow.
And the Lord said, you have not because you ask not. And so I reached out, and I reached out to someone and
Okay.
shared with her what I needed, and asked for her help. Within 24 hours, I had double the amount of the the pre-op pay that I had to
Right.
pay
Right.
within 24 hours,
Jesus.
and that's God.
Yes. No,
And that's
God
not
does.
realizing the impact that you have on people, and
Yeah.
then the way that my sisterhood came together. I have a network, a sign up genius, where they just sign up. I don't know who's coming to my house what day. I just know that I have, like today, I had somebody come in and clean for me,
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness, that
because
is so sweet.
yeah, because I don't have a lot of energy. So they just come and, and the nice thing is they don't come in and say, what do you need me to do? They just come in and start doing.
Okay. And that's a
That's
big difference.
yes. And
Yes.
that's when I was talking about the pruning season,
Mhm.
when you have those people who are just talking the talk,
Yeah.
well, call me if you need me. Well,
Yeah.
I need
Exactly.
and I'm not going to
Exactly.
call, but then I have those who come in, and if I have two dishes in the sink, they're washing, or if I, needed clothes washed, or, they'll come in
Yeah.
and change the linen for me. And it's just a blessing. And I'm learning that it's okay to just sit back and say, hey, I need y'all to do this, and it's done,
Yeah, it does.
So it was hard to tell people, and then as it grew, people started figuring out things, and so, I'm not ashamed of it. I know I'm on assignment. That's what I
Okay.
feel. I'm on assignment,
Okay.
and
I definitely understand that. Well, Miss Darina, we're gonna take a break right now, and you guys
okay.
will be back with Miss Darina because we got a whole bunch of stuff to cover. So we'll be back.